if you are looking at the world that we live in, okay? If you're looking at the world that we live in, we must appreciate the fact that things are not really the way we wanted it to be. Because there is something called as plan. Okay, you're having a plan, you have a strategy. There's something called as having some kind of a blueprint. You have some kind of a policy you want to work with, whatever. No matter how much you plan, no matter how well you organize your concepts and your dates, a very important thing about your success is your attitude, how you manage your emotions, how you manage yourself, how you manage the challenging circumstances, how you fight the odds. This is a very important part of whether you actually succeed or not, and whether you actually work out your plan or not. Most of us probably are too scared, okay? We are too unsure about things around us, and we tend to lose our focus. I mean, I've been talking to students for the last almost 1 month now. Every day I get messages, I get mails. In the classes also, I find students complain about the uncertainties. Students are despondent about what's happening around us. They're losing focus. They are losing, okay, concentration. So many of them have got demotivated also. Many of them have lost that momentum also. And I found students who say, sir, this is our bad luck that hamare saath hi ye hona tha. Okay, some of them complain. Sir, it's like, no, we are the chosen ones, that we have been afflicted with this kind of pandemic, and we are living through this. So for you guys, okay, and others also, try to work on this emotional and the attitude aspects. And that is where I'm talking about a concept called as VUCA. Okay. Now, what is VUCA? It is a very old concept which was, okay, given as early as 1980s. The concept of VUCA. This idea was given in 1980s, and this refers to 4 things: volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous situations. In 1990-91, the world went through a tremendous amount of churning. USSR had collapsed. The Berlin Wall, the German unification had happened. Globalization had started off. Like India and China were quickly emerging. ASEAN had already made its presence felt. The US was like a sole superpower. Terrorism was increasingly becoming a challenge. It was a time when everything was uncertain, everything was volatile, nothing was known as to what will happen in the future. So a term was coined for this post-Cold War situation, and they called it as VUCA, volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguity. What I mean by volatile is something that keeps on changing very fast. Okay, things change very fast. Uncertain as to we do not know what will happen. Okay, we do not know the future. We have no knowledge about the future. We cannot predict anything. Complexity means many things are related: the social, the economic, the political, democratic issues, arms, race, terrorism, trade. It's too complex. And ambiguity ka matlab hota hai that it means many things to many people. In ambiguity, we lack clarity. Okay, and the US Army came up with this idea that we need a special type of leadership in the VUCA situation. We need a special type of strategic thinking in this VUCA situation. Okay, and I think the COVID-19 of this year is something like the VUCA situation, where everything is volatile, uncertain, very complex, it's very ambiguous. Governments do not have the exact clarity. People who had jobs are losing their jobs. They do not know what will happen in the future. Technologies are changing. So this is a classic example of a VUCA situation. And beta, मैं आपको बोल रहा हूँ, you guys are aspiring for what? You guys are aspiring for one of the most influential positions you can think of in Indian political economic system. Indian bureaucracy is a very powerful institution. You are in many ways going to be leaders. You are in many ways going to be hemming a lot of important positions and posts. So if you fall apart, if you lose faith in yourself, if you seem to be losing it, okay, while others also are collapsing, then probably it tells me a thing or two about you and your personality also. This is a very good time to get your act together, to get skills, to acquire skills, emotional skills, so that you can manage yourself in this VUCA situation. So don't talk yourself out and say you are demotivated. And trust me, there are people who are worse off than any one of us. There are people who are probably at the edge already, collapsing. Many of us probably are much better here. So, jitna bhi kuch plan bataya maine, all the planning for prelims, for mains, all of that makes sense if you can get to accept the idea that this is definitely a very different challenge. This definitely is a very different type of situations. Don't complain about it. So, if I was to sum up your preparation, I'll say, learn to accept this VUCA situation. Try developing emotional resilience to live through this VUCA situation. You will have to develop leadership skills, strategic thinking abilities. You'll have to be realistic. At the same time, you also have to be optimistic. And this is what we say is the VUCA leadership. To deal with VUCA leadership, okay, there's a very interesting concept again. It's this matrix. Look at this matrix. So VUCA is volatile, VUCA is uncertain, VUCA is complex, VUCA is ambiguous. But because things are volatile, you need to have a vision. This is the V vision of the solution. What are the demands? Because things are uncertain, you need to have a better understanding. This is the U of the solution. Because things are more complex, you'll have to have focus. You'll have to have focus. You have to be flexible and creative. You must have more clarity in dealing with your situations. And because things are ambiguous, you'll have to be agile. Agile as in you'll have to be fast. You'll have to be innovative. So this is the VUCA of the problems, and this is the VUCA of the solutions. Okay, so what we are trying to do with you is set targets so that you can manage the VUCA of the solutions. Better develop a vision about your life, your goals, vision about your objectives once you become a civil servant, a bureaucrat. The vision should be so powerful that these dates and these events should not really shake you entirely. Understand the situations. Look at the things from different possible ways. Like I say, understand why you should do essays now, why you should do GS now, why I said focus on ethics and governance for those who have given the prelims and given the mains, and why I told the others, don't get into too much of abstractness. Keep it overlapping with your prelims preparation. Have clarity in whatever you are doing. Have focus, be creative, and be agile. Now, these are times when everything is changing very fast. These are times when everything is morphing very fast. If you are not able to keep pace with change, with technology. In fact, some of you have been asking me about this. Sir, why did I leave Wajiram and why am I starting on my own? One reason is that I have some visions for myself. I always wanted to do something in a different way. Time permitting and situation permitting, I'll share what my visions are. And my vision, if you see that slogan that we have with our Edukemy, it says pathways for learning. That is one of the innovations which me and my partners who believe in, and we hope we can do something on that. So I have a vision, I want to live for that. I have an understanding about what my strengths are, what my weaknesses are. I have clarity about, I hope I have some clarity about what I want to do. And agile. Technology is what we need to adopt. Online medium is a very fast growing medium. These tools are very fast. I have to be agile in adopting these changes. So I have tried to use some bit of VUCA in my life. I'm not saying I'm perfect here, but I'll suggest I think this is relevant to all of us here. So beta pandemic ho, nahi ho, date shift ho, nahi ho, everybody is affected. You're not supposed to be despondent here, not supposed to give up here. Develop a vision, understand things better, have clarity and be agile. Okay, be innovative in your solutions and see how you can work to it. You had come to take some plans for me about how to prepare. But I am talking about emotional aspects. I'm talking about how you can manage through managing your psychological distress, how you can manage through the uncertainties that you have. It's ultimately better a type of a mind game. Okay? You're not supposed to give up in your attempts. Don't give up in these situations. Okay? Whether you are here, and the worst part is, many of you are in situations where you do not even have your books. Many of you are in situations where, okay, you do not have your resources to read with. Okay? And that requires a lot of courage to say, whatever I have, let's use that. Maybe on the online, look up for some PDF copy that's being innovative, that's been agile. Okay? See if you can share the books with the friends that you have around you. Okay, so the VUCA leadership is what I expect out of you guys. You guys will manage the country, okay, in probably times to come. So VUCA leadership is what I expect out of you. Yeah, is it okay, all of you? I hope our conversation is helping you. I have this poem with me. If you've heard about Robert Frost, he wrote a poem, okay, about different paths that he took. The road less traveled, if you have heard about it. So this is the very famous poem. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, where it bent in the undergrowth. Very powerful one. I'll suggest if you can read this a couple of times. And this is the paragraph that inspires many people. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Basically, what I understand from this is that we should be conscious of the fact that we have to make choices. I read this somewhere, and I always talk about this in the class also, that a person is the sum total of choices that he makes. You are the choices that you make. And whatever you become, whatever you ultimately achieve, irrespective of what qualities you have, irrespective of what talent or skills you have, it is the choices you make. It is what you choose for yourself that ultimately matters. And that's how this is a very, very powerful statement. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. So I think in your case, this pandemic time gives you options now. How do you want to go about your life? You want to give up and move on? You want to defer the examination and appear the next year? You want to make a choice that I will work only for the prelims, nothing else? You want to make a choice, I want to juggle GS and essays and prelims? You want to make a choice, I will write answers for the next 15-20 days? You want to make a choice, I will do whatever it takes for 15 days and then I'll change my strategy? So whatever choices you make in this situation is what will decide what will happen of your attempts and your life in the future. I think it's a very, very powerful, relevant quote. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that made all the difference. I'm communicating whatever my intention is. Okay, I hope I'm getting across to you guys. And the webinar was not to teach you anything. It was more of a conversation, like I said. Okay, it was more like a talk, okay, with my students rather than any teaching here. Okay, so guys, do not worry as much. Do not get flustered as much. We are living in very difficult times, a classic VUCA situations. Okay, hold strong, do your best. Don't burn yourself. Do not overwork yourself and lose your momentum. Okay, slowly, gradually, I'm sure you're going to manage. I'm sure you're going to learn how to manage with the situation that we're facing. So thank you for being with me in this webinar. This was more or less what I could have said. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Good luck to you. Okay, and develop the leadership you want, okay, in this VUCA situation. Okay, bye-bye. Bye so much. Thank you.